Good morning. Today is the 15th day of September 2019. I am in my Father's house, and I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I can read about some people that have been afraid. I can find people that are afraid. They're everywhere. But let everyone know for certain, unless God builds the house, the builder builds in vain. And God's building a house. He can build as many houses as he wants. That's what God can do. He can have as many children as he wants. He's able. God is able. I don't think that, I don't have to think. I know. The blind don't see a thing. But I do know that Jesus went and preached to all the people, that were in the places where he went. And if he was outside of a city, one time he was outside of a city at a well, and he was alone. No one was with him. And a woman came out of the city to draw water. You can read about it. The woman came out to the well, and there's Jesus. This is the real Jesus. He is the real Jesus. The one who had been named Jesus as directed. This is him. This is the one that Simeon was waiting to see, because he knew it had been revealed to him that he would see the Lord's Christ before he died. Simeon, I know I'm right. And there was a woman in the temple, been there for years, since her husband died. What had she been doing? Ministering to the Lord. The Spirit. The Lord is the Spirit. It's the one that Jesus said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Jesus says, God has anointed me to preach, to make known. That's why Paul went and preached wherever he went, to make things known. And the devil has so many ministers today making things known. But the things that the devil makes known, they are known, but very few know what God is making known. Daniel, years before Jesus was born. Daniel, God had turned them over. There was no way that Nebuchadnezzar could succeed in taking over if God was not with him. Never. There was no way Nebuchadnezzar would have ever gone to Jerusalem and done what he did if God had not been in it. And you can read and see, if you will read the book of Daniel, it's very plain. It's not hidden. I don't know why. Yeah, I need to quit saying that. I really don't think I should ever say I don't know why. I really don't. I'm looking at Daniel today. I'm looking at Daniel right now. I got Daniel right here in front of me. I got the book of Daniel. That's not that many chapters. It's not that hard to read. And it's really not that hard to understand if you have understanding. Now, if you don't have understanding, well, you just don't understand. But there was a king of Judah. There were 12 tribes. There were 12 sons of Judah. No, there was 12 sons of Jacob. Judah was one of the 12. Each one of these tribes has an elder. And far as I know, each one of these tribes might have had a king. Doesn't matter to me whether each one of them had a king or didn't. There was a king. Judah, the king of Judah. Judah was probably, maybe, the oldest son of Jacob. But the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand. Nebuchadnezzar can only take over if God allows it. It cannot happen unless God is doing something. And God's doing something right here, years ago. And Daniel is one of the participants. And he's the one that's getting, that's going to get picked up by Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is going to pick up and pick out Daniel and 3 more. That's how many he's going to pick out. 4 of them. There will be 4 Hebrews. If you will read, you will find out that these 4 Hebrews, these are not toddlers. They are young men. And they're being watched. The king has officials under him. They take orders from the king. And you can read the names of these people. They're right here in the book of Daniel. And he says, I want you to go and get some of the sons of Israel. Jacob, sons of Jacob. He's got 12 of them. So that means he's got 12 sons. He took 2 more from Joseph. And he said, these are mine. That's what he said. I have read the book. I have. But right now I'm reading. He's looking for people. God's got 4 of them. Guess how they are? They're defectless. According to the book I'm reading, I want you to go look, find some youths of the sons of Israel. Some of the royal family of the nobles. This man's got orders from who? Nebuchadnezzar. Why is he able to do this? Can't you figure it out? Because the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand. Do you remember Jesus said to some people one day, you would have nothing over me if it had not been granted to you from heaven. That's what he said. And people do not understand what he said, although he said it plainly. Looking for youths who are good looking. They're intelligent. They got some wisdom. They got some understanding. Discerning knowledge and ability that the king was looking for. I mean, this king is fixing to take over some land that he's not been ruling because God has set him up. God set up Nebuchadnezzar. They had to learn, it says here, the writings and the language of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans are Chaldeans. I really don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce it. I don't think it really matters. What matters is that you understand that it's God Almighty that is fixing this. Jesus is not a king in heaven, although he is a king, but in heaven he's not, because there's only one king in heaven, and he is and was the king over Israel. God Almighty is the King of kings. Yep. He's the one that raises them up, and he's fixing to raise up a king.